Good evening, and welcome back to History in Hush. Tonight, we leave behind the noise of the modern world and step softly into the quiet heart of ancient Rome. As the great city settles into darkness, the crowded markets grow silent, the distant echoes of footsteps fade, and the warm glow of oil lamps flickers gently against ancient stone walls. While emperors sleep in their palaces and citizens rest behind wooden doors, one humble figure remains awake, a silent guardian of the night, a watchman walking slowly through the shadowed streets of Rome. So dim the lights, get comfortable, and allow your mind to drift back nearly 2,000 years, to a world of cobbled roads, whispering winds, and moonlit alleyways. Tonight, we will follow the quiet night watchman of ancient Rome and discover what life was truly like after the sun had disappeared beyond the horizon. This is the quiet night watchman of ancient Rome, and this is History in Hush.
The quiet night watchman of ancient Rome. Sleepy history for deep sleep. Good evening. Tonight, as the modern world slowly fades into the distance, we will travel far back in time to a quiet evening in ancient Rome. There is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to remember, nothing you need to solve. For the next little while, you may simply rest. Allow your body to grow comfortable. Allow your thoughts to drift like slow clouds moving across a peaceful night sky. And together we will wander through the silent streets of Rome. Not the Rome of great victories, not the Rome of famous emperors, not the Rome of crowded celebrations and noisy spectacles. Instead, we will visit a quieter Rome, a softer Rome, a Rome that existed in the gentle spaces between the grand events recorded in history books. We will walk beside an ordinary night watchman, a man whose name has been forgotten by time, a man who left behind no great monument, a man whose footsteps disappeared long ago from the stone streets of the ancient city. And yet, for one peaceful night, we will follow him. Long ago, nearly 2,000 years in the past, Rome was one of the largest cities on earth. Its roads stretched across an empire that reached far beyond the horizon. Its ships crossed distant seas. Its markets welcomed travelers from lands many weeks away. But tonight, much of that great city is preparing for sleep. The day is ending. The sun rests low in the western sky. Its golden light touches rooftops made from red clay tiles. The warm stone walls of homes and shops glow softly beneath the fading sunlight. The air still carries a little of the day's heat. But slowly, very slowly, evening begins to arrive. The city exhales. The busy energy of daylight starts to disappear. Merchants close their stalls. Workers finish their tasks. Families gather inside their homes. And above it all, the sky gradually changes color. Golden becomes orange. Orange becomes pink. Pink becomes purple, and eventually deep blue spreads across the heavens. The first stars begin to appear, one by one, patiently, quietly, as they have done every evening for countless generations. Near a narrow street, a baker finishes his final task of the day. The smell of fresh bread lingers in the warm air. For hours he has worked beside glowing ovens. His hands are dusted with flour. His shoulders feel heavy. He sweeps the floor carefully. He wipes a wooden table. He checks the remaining loaves. Then he extinguishes a lamp and closes the door. Tomorrow, before sunrise, he will return. The routine rarely changes. Day after day, month after month, year after year, there is comfort in such routines. Many people in ancient Rome lived according to familiar rhythms. The rising sun, the morning meal, the day's labor, the evening gathering, the quiet night. And then the cycle begins again. Not far away, a woman waters small plants growing in clay pots near her doorway. The leaves catch the final light of the day. Tiny drops of water shine briefly before disappearing into the soil. She pauses for a moment and looks upward. The evening sky is beautiful, simple, peaceful. For a few seconds, she enjoys the cool breeze that has finally arrived after a warm afternoon. Then she steps inside and closes the door behind her. The city grows a little quieter, and a little quieter still. As the world remains calm, a man begins his nightly journey. He's our watchman. His responsibilities are simple. He walks, he observes, he listens. He watches over the streets while many others sleep. He carries a small oil lamp. Its flame flickers softly behind thin glass. The warm light dances across nearby walls. Shadows stretch and move as he walks. The lamp is not bright. It does not illuminate the entire street. Only a small circle of light surrounds him. Beyond that circle lies darkness. Gentle darkness. Peaceful darkness. The kind of darkness that belongs to a sleeping city. His sandals make quiet sounds against the stone road. Step after step, slow and steady. There is no reason to hurry. The night is long. Ancient Rome was filled with sounds during the day. The voices of merchants, the rumble of carts, the calls of street vendors, the footsteps of thousands upon thousands of people. But now those sounds have faded. In their place are softer noises, the distant flow of water, the rustling of leaves, a dog shifting in its sleep, a wooden shutter moving gently in the breeze. These sounds are easy to miss during daylight hours, but at night they become part of the city's quiet music. The watchman passes beneath a row of apartment buildings. Some are several stories tall. Families live together inside them. Workers, craftsmen, mothers, children, grandparents, ordinary people living ordinary lives. Through an open window comes the faint sound of conversation. Someone laughs softly. Someone else replies. A few moments later, silence returns. Far above, a lamp is extinguished. One family has gone to sleep. Then another, and another. Throughout the city, countless small lights disappear one by one, like stars fading before dawn. The watchman continues his walk. The streets feel larger now. Without crowds, Rome seems different, more spacious, more mysterious. The great buildings cast long shadows beneath the moonlight. Columns rise quietly into the darkness. Archways stand motionless. Stone walls hold centuries of memories. If these streets could speak, they would tell endless stories. Stories of merchants arriving from distant lands. Stories of children playing beside fountains. Stories of old friends sharing meals together. Stories of ordinary days that once felt important to those who lived them. Yet time moves forward. It always does. The people come and go. The generations pass. And still the stones remain. The watchman reaches a public fountain. Fresh water flows continuously from carved stone. The sound is gentle and soothing. He pauses for a moment. There is no rush. The fountain has been flowing all day. It will continue flowing throughout the night. And tomorrow, people will gather here once again. Children will fill containers. Workers will wash their hands. Travelers will stop for a drink. Life will continue, as it always has, as it always seems to do. The cool air around the fountain feels pleasant, especially after the warmth of the day. The watchman listens to the water. Its steady rhythm creates a feeling of peace. Even now, thousands of years later, many people find comfort in the sound of flowing water. There is something timeless about it. something deeply calming. The same water that comforted ancient Romans still comforts people today. The same moon shines above. The same stars drift silently across the sky. The same gentle night surrounds those willing to pause and listen. After a few quiet moments, the watchman resumes his journey. His lamp sways gently with each step. The city remains calm. A soft breeze moves through narrow streets. Somewhere in the distance, a temple bell sounds once. The sound drifts across rooftops, then fades away. Silence follows once more. Above the city, the stars continue their patient journey. Ancient Romans often looked upward and wondered about those distant lights. They created stories about them. They searched for meaning among the constellations. They imagined gods and heroes moving across the heavens. And perhaps our watchman occasionally wonders too. Perhaps he pauses during his rounds to admire the night sky. Perhaps he feels small beneath the vastness of the universe. Not frightened, not troubled, simply aware. Aware that he is one person among many, one life among countless others. A brief moment in the long story of human history. And strangely, there is comfort in that thought. The world does not depend entirely upon us. The stars continue shining. The rivers continue flowing. The seasons continue changing. Life moves gently onward. The watchman turns into another street. This neighborhood is quieter than the last. Many homes are already dark. Small gardens rest peacefully behind stone walls. Olive trees stand motionless beneath the moonlight. Their silver leaves shimmer softly whenever the breeze passes through. The scent of earth and growing plants fills the air. It is a pleasant smell, a simple smell, the smell of life continuing quietly through the night. He passes a sleeping cat curled beside a doorway. The animal barely notices him. One ear twitches, then it settles again, perfectly content, perfectly relaxed. The watchman smiles faintly and continues walking. There is still much of the city left to see. Many streets, many fountains, many quiet corners hidden within the sleeping heart of Rome. And as the night grows deeper, the city grows calmer. The lamps become fewer. The sounds become softer. The air becomes cooler. And slowly, very slowly, ancient Rome drifts further into peaceful sleep. The watchman continues forward at the same unhurried pace. His lamp glows softly beside him, casting a warm circle of light upon the ancient stones. The night has deepened now. The last traces of sunset have disappeared beyond the horizon. Above Rome, the sky has become a vast sea of dark blue. Thousands of stars sparkle quietly overhead. The city beneath them seems peaceful, gentle, almost sleepy. As he walks, the watchman arrives at a wider street. During the day, this road would be busy with activity. Merchants would arrange their goods. Customers would negotiate prices. Children would weave through the crowds. Travelers would search for directions. Animals would pull carts loaded with supplies. But now the street belongs to the night. Empty stalls stand in neat rows. Wooden shutters are closed. Canvas coverings have been folded away. Everything waits patiently for morning. A faint scent of olives still lingers in the air. Nearby, another smell remains from the day's trade. Fresh herbs, rosemary, mint, thyme. The scents have become mixed together after hours beneath the warm sun. Even now, they drift softly through the quiet darkness. The watchman pauses beside a market square. Moonlight spills across the open space. The stone ground appears silver beneath its glow. In the center stands a small fountain. Water trickles steadily into a basin, worn smooth by countless hands. How many people have stopped here over the years? Hundreds? Thousands? Perhaps tens of thousands? No one could know for certain. Time has a way of carrying such details away. Yet traces remain. A polished stone edge, a worn pathway, a weathered carving. Small signs left behind by ordinary people living ordinary lives. The watchman looks around the square. Everything seems peaceful. Nothing unusual. Nothing urgent. Exactly as he hopes. His work is often uneventful. Night after night. Street after street. The calm routine repeated again and again. And perhaps there is comfort in that. Many people spend their lives searching for excitement. Yet often the most peaceful moments come from simple routines, the familiar path, the familiar sounds, the familiar rhythm of daily life. Long ago, in those quiet times, many Romans understood this well. Life was rarely perfect. There were challenges, as there always are. Yet there were also countless small moments of calm. A shared meal, a cool breeze, a comfortable chair beside a doorway, the sound of water flowing nearby, the warmth of family gathered together. Simple moments. Quiet moments. The moments that often matter most. The watchman leaves the square and continues toward one of the city's public baths. The bathhouse is closed for the evening. Its doors are shut. Its halls are empty. Earlier in the day, it would have been filled with people. Friends talking together. Workers relaxing after long hours. Citizens discussing news and daily affairs. The baths were important places in Roman life, not only for cleanliness, but also for conversation, for community, for rest. Now silence fills the building. Moonlight touches the columns outside. The stone walls hold the day's warmth. Somewhere inside, water rests quietly within large pools. The watchman pauses for a moment. The bathhouse seems almost dreamlike at night. Still, silent, patient, waiting for another day to begin. He continues onward. The streets become narrower once again. Stone buildings rise on either side. Their upper stories lean slightly toward one another, creating pockets of shadow beneath the moonlight. The watchman's lamp flickers gently. Its golden glow dances across doorways and walls. Every so often, he notices signs of life. A faint light beneath a door, a distant voice, the sound of someone moving inside a home. Most of Rome is asleep, but not everyone. Some people work through the night. A baker preparing tomorrow's bread. A caretaker tending a sick relative. A traveler arriving late from a distant journey. Life continues, even in darkness. The watchman reaches a small residential courtyard. Here, several families share a common space. A fig tree grows near the center. Its branches spread wide above the courtyard stones. The leaves rustle softly in the breeze. Clay pots filled with flowers rest beside doorways. A wooden bench sits beneath the tree. Empty now. Yet earlier, it may have held neighbors talking together before bedtime. The watchman imagines the conversations. Simple conversations. The weather, the harvest, the price of grain, family news, stories repeated many times, stories that helped pass peaceful evenings. Such moments rarely appear in history books, yet they formed the fabric of everyday life. Most people who lived in ancient Rome were not emperors. They were not generals. They were not famous. They were ordinary people. People who worked. People who rested. People who laughed. People who worried. People who loved their families. And in many ways, they were not so different from us. The watchman continues through the sleeping neighborhood. Above him, laundry lines stretch between buildings. Empty now, waiting for daylight. The moon illuminates white cloth, hanging motionless in the night air. For a moment, the scene appears almost magical. Not because anything extraordinary is happening, but because everything feels so peaceful. Sometimes peace itself can feel remarkable. The city seems to breathe slowly, steadily, as though Rome itself has fallen asleep. In the distance, he notices one of the great temples rising above nearby rooftops. Its columns stand tall beneath the stars. Its shape is familiar to everyone in the city. During daylight hours, people visit to pray, offer gifts, or seek guidance. Tonight, however, the temple rests quietly beneath the moonlight. The watchman walks closer. His footsteps echo softly against stone. The temple courtyard is empty. A few oil lamps still burn near the entrance. Their flames move gently in the night breeze. The scent of incense lingers faintly. Even now, hours after sunset, the smell is subtle, pleasant, almost comforting. The watchman stands for a moment and looks upward. The columns seem enormous against the night sky. They have stood here for years. They may stand here for many years more. Generations pass beneath them. Children grow old. Families come and go. Yet the stones remain. Here, history often moves slowly, far more slowly than we realize. A single human life feels long while we live it. But from the perspective of centuries, it passes like a brief whisper. The watchman understands this in his own quiet way. Every night he walks the same streets. Every night he passes the same buildings, the same fountains, the same trees, the same doorways. And little by little, he notices small changes. A child grows taller, a shop changes owners, a tree grows wider, a wall becomes weathered. Tiny changes, almost invisible from day to day. Yet over years they transform the city. Such is the nature of time. Slow, patient, constant. As the world remains still, the watchman resumes his journey. The moon now hangs higher above Rome. Its pale light washes across rooftops and courtyards. The city seems quieter than ever. Many lamps have burned out. Many homes have gone completely dark. Only occasional windows still glow softly in the distance. The coolness of the night deepens. The warm air of the afternoon has fully disappeared. The watchman pulls his cloak a little closer around his shoulders. The fabric feels comfortable, familiar. Another small comfort in a life built upon routine. He turns down another street. This one leads toward a modest garden hidden behind stone walls. Even at night, the scent of flowers drifts into the air. Jasmine, lavender, roses. Their fragrance becomes stronger in the cool darkness. The watchman slows his pace, not because he's tired, but because there is no reason to rush. The garden feels peaceful. The entire city feels peaceful. And for a few moments, he simply listens. The leaves moving softly, the distant fountain, the whisper of wind passing through branches, the quiet sounds of a sleeping world. And beneath those sounds, there is something deeper, a feeling, a sense that countless people throughout history have stood in similar places, listening to similar winds, looking at similar stars, feeling the same cool night air upon their skin. Human lives change. Empires rise and fall. Cities grow and transform. Yet some experiences remain timeless. The comfort of evening, the beauty of silence, the peace found in simple moments. And so the watchman continues his slow walk through ancient Rome, step by step, street by street, beneath the stars, beneath the moon, through a city that is slowly, gently, and peacefully falling asleep. The night continues to unfold with quiet patience. The watchman walks onward, his steady footsteps blending softly with the silence that now blankets much of Rome. Hours have passed since sunset. The city has settled into a deeper kind of stillness. Many homes are completely dark. Most families have long since drifted into sleep. Only the occasional glow of an oil lamp can be seen through a shutter or beneath a doorway. The Watchman follows a gently curving street, lined with old stone buildings. Some of these structures have stood here for generations. Their walls have witnessed countless seasons: summer heat, winter rain, spring blossoms, autumn winds, year after year, century after century. The stones remember everything, and yet they speak of nothing. They simply remain, patient, silent, enduring. As he continues walking, he notices a small workshop. The wooden sign hanging above the door moves slightly in the breeze. By daylight, a craftsman works here. Perhaps a maker of sandals, perhaps a carpenter, perhaps a worker of bronze or clay. The tools are now resting inside. The workbench is empty. The day's labor has ended. There is something peaceful about places at rest. The empty workshop seems almost content, as though it too has settled into sleep. The Watchman smiles faintly and moves on. Above him, the stars shine brightly. Without the bright lights of the modern world, the night sky appears vast beyond imagination. Ancient Romans often lived beneath skies filled with countless stars. The Milky Way stretches overhead like a pale river of light. Constellations drift slowly across the heavens. Some of the stars visible tonight have been shining for thousands of years. They shone above Rome. They shone above Egypt. They shone above ancient kingdoms long forgotten. And they continue shining now, quietly, faithfully, as they always have. The Watchman pauses at a crossroads. A stone marker stands nearby. During daylight, travelers might stop here to decide which road to follow. Now the streets are empty. The marker stands alone beneath the moonlight. The city feels almost dreamlike, a place suspended between yesterday and tomorrow, neither fully awake nor fully asleep. The Watchman chooses the road leading toward a quieter district. The houses here are smaller, more modest. Simple homes built close together. Many families live in these neighborhoods. Workers, laborers, artisans, people whose names have mostly disappeared from history. Yet these were the people who filled the city with life. The people who baked bread, built walls, wove cloth, carried water, tended gardens, raised children, and kept the great city functioning day after day. History often remembers emperors, but cities are truly built by ordinary people. The Watchman knows many of these streets well. He has walked them hundreds of times, perhaps thousands. Every crack in the pavement feels familiar. Every corner, every doorway, every fountain. There is comfort in familiarity, comfort in knowing one's surroundings, comfort in repetition. Many peaceful lives are built from repeated routines. The same morning walk, the same evening meal, the same friendly faces, the same comforting places. The Watchman reaches a small public garden. Moonlight spills across its pathways. Olive trees stand quietly among low stone walls. Their twisted trunks cast delicate shadows upon the ground. A gentle breeze moves through the branches. The leaves whisper softly to one another. The sound is barely noticeable, yet in the stillness of the night, it feels important. The Watchman steps inside the garden, not because he must, simply because the place feels peaceful. He sits for a moment upon a stone bench. The bench feels cool beneath him. The air is pleasant, fresh, calm. He looks upward. The stars seem brighter here away from the larger streets. A shooting star briefly crosses the sky. Then darkness returns. The moment is small, quiet, and soon forgotten, much like countless moments throughout history. Most human experiences are never recorded. A smile shared between friends. A peaceful evening walk. A quiet moment beneath the stars. These moments vanish quickly. Yet they form much of what it means to be alive. The watchman remains seated for a little while longer. There is no rush. The city is safe. The night is calm. Everything feels exactly as it should. Nearby, a small fountain trickles steadily. Water flows from one basin into another. The sound creates a gentle rhythm, steady, unchanging, relaxing. The watchman listens. The sound reminds him of other nights, other walks, other seasons. The same fountain has likely sounded this way for years, perhaps decades, perhaps longer. The water does not hurry. It simply flows, day and night, summer and winter, year after year. There is wisdom in that simplicity. The watchman eventually rises and continues his journey. His lamp glows warmly in the darkness. The flame dances whenever the breeze touches it. The streets ahead remain quiet. The city remains peaceful. Far away, somewhere beyond the walls of Rome, farms and villages sleep beneath the same sky. Fields rest beneath moonlight. Animals sleep within barns. Country roads lie empty beneath the stars. The entire world seems wrapped in silence. And yet life continues everywhere. Seeds grow beneath the soil. Rivers flow toward distant seas. Clouds drift across the night sky. Time moves forward, always forward, slowly, patiently. The watchman follows a narrow lane leading toward one of Rome's aqueduct channels. These remarkable structures carried fresh water into the city from distant sources. Their importance cannot be overstated. Without water, Rome could never have grown so large, could never have supported so many people. The watchman stops beside a section where water can be heard moving nearby. Though hidden from view, the sound remains clear. Cool water traveling across miles of countryside, passing through stone channels, flowing endlessly toward the city. The sound is soothing, almost hypnotic. He listens for a moment, then another. The water asks for nothing. It simply continues its journey, the same way countless generations have continued theirs. The watchman resumes walking. Ahead, a small shrine stands at the corner of a street. A simple place, modest, well cared for. Fresh flowers rest beside it. Someone must have visited earlier in the day. The flowers now glow softly beneath the moonlight. Their colors are difficult to see in the darkness, yet their presence remains comforting, a reminder that people have always sought meaning, always sought hope, always sought connection to something larger than themselves. The watchman bows his head briefly as he passes, then continues onward. The hours move quietly forward. The moon slowly crosses the sky. The city sleeps, and the watchman walks, sometimes through wide streets, sometimes through narrow alleys, sometimes beside fountains, sometimes beside gardens, always moving, always observing, always surrounded by the quiet beauty of the night. As the world remains still, he notices something simple, a curtain moving gently through an open window. Nothing more, just fabric stirred by a cool breeze, yet somehow the sight feels peaceful. Inside that home, someone sleeps, perhaps dreaming, perhaps resting after a long day's work, perhaps unaware of the quiet city beyond their walls. The watchman smiles. There is comfort in knowing others are safe.
comfort in knowing the city rests peacefully. The night grows deeper still. The stars continue their slow journey overhead. The streets become even quieter. The few remaining sounds seem softer now, more distant, more gentle. Rome drifts further into sleep, and beneath the moonlight, beneath the stars, beneath the long memory of history itself, the watchman continues his patient walk through the ancient city. One step at a time, one quiet street at a time, one peaceful moment at a time. The night continues its slow and gentle journey across the city. The watchman walks without hurry. His lamp remains steady. Its warm glow follows him through streets that have become almost completely silent. The moon now hangs high above Rome. Its pale light touches rooftops, courtyards, fountains, and gardens. Everything seems softer beneath the moonlight. The sharp edges of the day have disappeared. The city feels calm, almost dreamlike. As he walks, he reaches one of the older districts of Rome. Many of the buildings here have stood for generations. Grandparents once walked these same streets. Before them, their grandparents did the same. Families have lived entire lives here. Children have grown into adults. Adults have grown old. And time has continued forward. The watchman passes a small courtyard where a vine climbs carefully along a stone wall. Tiny leaves shimmer beneath the moonlight. A clay pot sits beside a doorway. A wooden chair rests nearby. Someone likely sat there earlier this evening. Perhaps an elderly man enjoying the cool air after sunset. Perhaps a woman watching children play. Perhaps a craftsman resting after a long day. Now, the chair is empty. The courtyard is quiet. The night has claimed it for a few peaceful hours. The watchman continues onward. Far ahead, he can see the outline of one of Rome's great hills. The city was built among hills and valleys. During daylight, they are filled with movement. At night, they seem ancient, timeless, as though they have watched humanity come and go for thousands of years. Perhaps they have. The watchman pauses near another fountain. This one is larger than the others. Water flows gently into a broad stone basin. The surface reflects the moon. The reflection trembles slightly whenever the water moves. He stands quietly and watches. The moon in the sky, the moon in the water. Both beautiful, both peaceful. A cool breeze passes through the square. The air feels fresh now. The warmth of the day is only a memory. The city rests comfortably beneath the night. The watchman closes his eyes for a moment and listens. Water, wind, silence. Nothing more, nothing less. For a few moments it feels as though the entire world has become still. And perhaps that is one of the gifts of the night. The night asks very little of us. It does not demand speed. It does not ask us to hurry. It simply invites us to slow down, to breathe, to rest, to notice small things. The watchman eventually opens his eyes and continues his journey. The hours move onward, slowly, quietly, patiently. Somewhere in the distance, a rooster stirs briefly before settling once again. It is still too early for dawn, yet the night has begun its gradual journey toward morning. The watchman walks beside a row of sleeping homes. Behind each door is a different story, a different family, a different life. Some are wealthy, some are poor, some are young, some are old. Yet tonight, they share something simple. They are all asleep beneath the same sky, the same moon, the same stars, the same cool air drifting through the city. History often focuses upon differences. Kings and peasants, generals and workers, the powerful and the ordinary. But nights like this reveal something else. The quiet things that connect people: rest, dreams, family, hope, the simple desire for peace. The watchman smiles softly at the thought, then continues walking. Above him, the stars slowly begin to shift toward the western horizon. Time moves gently onward. The city remains calm. A cat crosses a narrow street and disappears into the shadows. A few leaves tumble across the stones. The fountain continues flowing. The breeze continues moving. Everything feels steady. Everything feels peaceful. Hours pass in this manner. The watchman walks, observes, listens. Nothing dramatic happens, nothing unexpected, and that is exactly what makes the night so comforting. The city is safe. The people are resting. The streets are calm. Sometimes peace itself is the story. Eventually, the eastern horizon begins to change, only slightly at first, so slightly that most people would not notice. The darkness becomes a little softer. The stars lose a tiny portion of their brightness. The night is beginning to release its hold upon the city. Dawn is still far away, yet its arrival has quietly begun. The watchman reaches a hill overlooking part of Rome. From here he can see rooftops stretching into the distance. Temples, homes, gardens, courtyards, fountains, all resting beneath the fading stars. The view is beautiful, not because it is grand, not because it is famous, but because it is peaceful. The city seems to breathe softly beneath the sky. The watchman stands there for several moments, looking, listening, remembering. Perhaps he has stood in this very spot many times before. Perhaps it has become one of his favorite places, a place where the city feels quietest, a place where time seems to slow down. Eventually, he continues onward. The eastern sky grows a little brighter. A pale silver light begins appearing along the horizon. Birds begin to stir among the trees. The first signs of morning are arriving. Rome is still asleep, but not for much longer. Soon, bakers will return to their ovens. Merchants will open their shops. Children will begin new days. Workers will fill the streets once again. The familiar rhythm of life will continue, as it always has, as it always seems to do. The watchman reaches the final stretch of his nightly route. His lamp burns lower now. The flame has become smaller, the oil nearly gone. Its work, like his own, is almost complete. He passes one final fountain, one final courtyard, one final row of sleeping homes. The city remains calm. The world remains still. And for a few precious moments, Rome exists in the space between night and morning, between sleep and waking, between yesterday and today. The watchman slows his pace. There is no reason to hurry. There never was. The sky continues brightening. The stars gradually fade. The moon drifts lower. A bird sings softly from a nearby rooftop, then another. The city begins to awaken, very slowly, very gently. The watchman reaches the end of his journey. His nightly walk is complete. The streets are safe. The city has rested peacefully. A new day is beginning. He extinguishes his lamp. The small flame disappears. For a moment, he stands quietly beneath the brightening sky. Then he turns toward home. Soon, he too will rest. Soon another day will begin, and somewhere in the endless flow of history, this quiet night will become a memory. A simple night, an ordinary night, a peaceful night, one among thousands, yet no less beautiful because of its simplicity. And as ancient Rome slowly awakens beneath the morning light, we may leave the city behind. The fountains continue flowing, the birds continue singing, the streets slowly fill with life, and the watchman disappears into the gentle beginning of a new day. The night is over, the city rests no longer, but the feeling of peace remains. It remains in the stones, in the gardens, in the flowing water, in the quiet memory of a forgotten watchman walking patiently beneath the stars. And now, as the ancient city fades into the distance, there is nothing more to do, nothing more to see, only the soft comfort of rest, the calm passage of time, and the gentle knowledge that countless peaceful nights have come before this one, and countless peaceful nights will come again. Good night. Sleep well, and let the ancient city drift softly away. The end. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. See you in the next one.